YouTube, onto my channel, Anne at Bella, and I'm so sorry that my Bridgerton Season 3 Part 2 review is so late. I've been ill, that's the reason why, but like Season 3 of Bridgerton, it has made my review a bit disjointed, and to be absolutely honest, so has Bridgerton Season 3 been very disjointed. It's been uneven, there's been strange side stories. The first 4 episodes of Season 3 Part 1 were excellent. Beautiful lead up, lots of Colin, lots of diversions and things that we like to see. Really, really good. Loved the cliffhanger. Always a good cliffhanger. Dun dun dun. The engagement from the friskiness in the carriage. Loved that. Season 3 Part 2, there was lots of pollen, which we like. But what actually stood out to a lot of people was the Featherington sisterhood finally sisterhooding in a positive way. Because I'm British and I don't like too much namby-pamby feeling. It doesn't work well. But this was full-on female empowerment, female strength, recognising each other's weaknesses and strengths and building as a family. They finally gelled, come together and put their best foot forward and were like, Penelope's going to marry Colin. It's going to be great. This is what we're doing. It's for the good of the family. We're going to rock it. And they did. That was the best thing we ever got out of this season. The whole Portia thing with Violet and Lady Danbury coming together as a threesome going, yeah, we're going to rock this. We're going to convince the Queen. It's going to be fine. We're going to be the 4 grandest dames in the whole country. Queen Charlotte, Lady Danbury, Dowager Countess Violet and Lady Featherington, Portia. It's going to work. That's what we're going to do. And that's what happened. Loved the support from her 2 sisters. Go Bugs. Beautiful. Not a problem. The Featherington storyline did what it's going to do. And actually, it's really important because the first 2 seasons of any series sets up the whole society. The 3rd season, moving forward, yes, we're leaving Julie Andrews behind. And obviously, the actress who plays Penelope is going to speak as Lady Featherington with her own voice because she's been, you know, revealed. This is what we're going to do going forward, and it's actually going to gel the Bridgertons. And moving forward into Season 4, this is what we're going to see. Season 4 is going to be in 2 years' time because we're making movie quality TV series now, and hence why Season 4 is going to be 2 years from now. That, and we've got some consent age issues with Gregory and Hyacinth to iron out, hence on to Benedict. Speaking of Benedict, what on earth are they doing with him? It felt so disjointed and misplaced. I fully get the whole threesome thing and Benedict, but actually his whole storyline was like, the bringing together of him and Eloise, but he can't tell Eloise anything because they're not of equal standing. He is the second son. He should be in the army or the church or doing something productive in the arts. He is doing neither of these 3 things. He's faffing about. Yes, the lady he's faffing about with is big in the theatre circle. Why isn't Benedict continuing with his patronage and going to art college like he was last season? Where has that gone? It's just gone and dried up. In reality, he would be seriously either sponsoring a sculptor, sponsoring a painter, or doing it himself. But yet again, Colin is doing that with his writing. It's important to note Colin did 2 tours. His first tour as an older teenager but still a young man was actually all about his classics. So he went around classical Rome, classical Greece. It backed up his classic studies, put that in place in his mind. It was part of his education. His second tour was actually European city hop. That showed him to be a man of the world. It was him understanding how these cities worked, because when I come back, I'm going to enter business. And the business Colin entered into as a 3rd son was publishing. And that's really important. This is what really annoys me about Lord Kent's parents. Because in reality, Lord Kent's parents wouldn't be Lord Kent's legal guardian anymore. Lord Kent would be taken off them by a lawyer. He would be put into a preparatory school or separated from his family. His family standing would not change. It would be slightly higher. They'd still get to keep their club and make money that way. Because what's really annoying is Penn and Colin are writing and making money. So they're working. But this chap can't own a club and can't make money that way. And I'm like, excuse me, his club is for the elite. His son is the elite. Why does he have to give it up? And this is where Bridgerton is wrong, because in reality, the family would still keep that business. It would be added to Lord Kent's estate. They would still be allowed to do that. In fact, his parents would be encouraged to keep that up because it would be their way of appropriately entering the ton, because they do not have a title. Their son does. Their son would go to the prep school. Their son would get taken to appropriate afternoon evenings to mix with the right families, like he did at the end. Lord Kent meant Gregory and Hyacinth, and they had a nice play date with the right elite children, with his parents there, of course, because his parents are respectable club owners. They do a club to the highest of society. I cannot understand why you want to give that up, unless high society wanted them to have a ball and do that. So they want respectable people to give them balls, and as club owners, doing a ball is only one step up from that. Hence why the Featherington ball was really important. Yes, I have a new thingy, whoop whoop. So that's hypocrisy happening here, and really annoying. We still didn't see, yes, we did see a clergyman marry. We've not got to Francesca's story. I'm saving that, parking out. We are going to get there. We didn't see any clergy. We didn't see any army or navy. The Napoleonic Wars are going on. Business is booming. You know, trading silks, sugars, tobacco. These things are happening. Yes, I mean, we don't have slavery in this fantasy Regency era, but these businesses would still be happening. Somebody's got to be trading something, and the ton would be heavily involved in that. They wouldn't just be farming on their estates. You can't live on that, because that farming stuff doesn't feed the people of London. I mean, yes, it does, but it actually feeds those villages and estates and regions in the UK. I'm tearing my hair out. Why? And owning a townhouse in London, you'd only visit it for like 3 months of a year, because London's a cesspit. You wouldn't live there. The air is bad. You'd stay there for the season, and then you'd tail it back to the country in the winter, like they do in Sense and Sensibility, like that dowager lady does. She takes them, she goes, tastes the delights of the season, which is 3 months of the year. They get in, they get out, because it's a crush and nobody wants to be there because you could die from bad air. So, yeah. Still moaning about that, and I know I moaned about that previously. So we've done the Featheringtons, big tick there. The Colin and Penn resolve themselves amicably. Yes, I know there are issues with toxicity and all of this, but that's the books. I am going to mention one thing that would be completely inappropriate. Marianne Dashwood in Sense and Sensibility goes and visits a house with Willoughby, and they are not engaged. But it's a house that Willoughby's going to own, and she's unchaperoned with him inside. This is effectively what Colin does. Yes, they are engaged, but it's still scandalous because they do the deed. In fact, they do it twice, which is hence why they get the new Lord Featherington and why they've got to marry so quickly, which is scandalous in itself. We're saving Gregory and tying his fiancée to a toilet so she can't get married. Anyway, Gregory's a whole mess. That would be questionable and not allowed. Even if they were engaged, they would go round together with Violet and Portia accompanying them to see this house. And it's fully understandable because that house actually isn't Colin's. It's supposed to be Benedict's, because it's where Benedict is supposed to live as the second son. Colin's only got it as the third son because, A, he's the one marrying. Benedict is screwed. Where on earth is he going to live? Because he's not going to be able to live at Bridgerton House, because Mother needs to find a dowager house and Anthony and Kate need to live there when they come back from India. I so want them to do Anthony and Kate in India. That would be so appropriate to do, because then we could do the East India Company. We could see life in Regency India. It would be beautiful. Oh, that would be lovely to do. That would be great, actually. But I don't think we're going to get that because that's too complicated, and the whole racism thing, colonialism would rear its ugly head and they wouldn't know how to manage it. Because yes, we did not officially have slavery in India, but actually there was slavery in sweatshops in India. Let's not kid ourselves. The British Empire is not a pretty thing. It was just slavery by another name, because we didn't own these people, we just worked them really hard as subjects. So that's a whole host of other things. And we did beat them with sticks. So yeah, whole host of things. So we've done the pollen thing. Right, on to Francesca. Loving the fact that we've got a different love match. It's quieter, it's a slow burn. And then they had to go and change Michael to Michelle. And yes, that's a whole change going on. And I know that they wanted to get some LGBTQ stuff in, and I think that's really great. But you've got that with Benedict. Benedict is doing that in a way that's appropriate and fits with the era. Yes, I know that two ladies living alone would not be seen as lesbianism because Queen Victoria, and yet, you know, Queen Victoria, we're still on Queen Charlotte. We're not at Victoria, who hadn't got a clue what lesbianism, and that's why it's never been a thing. But actually, two gentlewomen living alone has never raised any eyebrows because it's been seen as economic, it's been seen as a good thing. So that's interesting that we're going to go down that route because, unfortunately, for those that don't know, spoilers, Earl Kilmartin dies, and Francesca doesn't have any children by him. She does, however, have children by Michael. So how on earth Michelle's going to work it? Basic biology, people, this is going to be very different. So we will see how that pans out logistically. But I'm hoping. And it's interesting that Eloise has gone with them because I think she does need a change of scene in society, because being trapped has actually forced her to go with Cressida. And I like the fact that Cressida got enlarged. And Cressida is not a villain. She is a woman trapped in a very, very dangerous time. And she's doing what she must to survive. Don't diss Cressida. Cressida's got her own issues and dealing with a very, very difficult situation. Eloise has got the luxury where she's not going to be forced to get married because her brothers will keep her. Colin's rich independently now with the money from his books. Penelope owns a fortune in her own right, which she's using to support her two sisters, her mother, and the new Lord Featherington, who happens to be her son. So Penelope is set for life. She's going to get money from the Featherington estate. She's got her own money. She's got a husband who's got not only access to the Bridgerton money, but also the money from his book. There is no need to worry about the third son. He's set for life. The problem is Benedict. Hence why it's going to be Benedict's season next time. Am I going to give it a 4 or a 5? No, I'm not. I'm going to give it a 3.5. Mostly because it was so disjointed. You'd be going along, really enjoying it. And then suddenly you'd end up in a Benedict threesome going, why is this here? What is this doing for the plot? It's not doing anything for the plot. It's not connected with anything the other siblings are doing. It's not even connected with Pollen. It was very disjointed. And in fact, I was relieved when Anthony and Kate turned up at the end. To save us from this weirdness, because they're the glue that holds it together. So yeah, that's going to be interesting what's going to happen there. Eloise, I think, is going to have a great time. Her season probably will be season 5, because then we've got the whole Gregory Hyacinth issue, because the child actors that we've got at the moment may or may not consent to doing the adult stuff later on. So that's a whole other hurdle. So we may get new adult actors to do it because of safeguarding reasons, I imagine. Anyway, I'm giving the whole of Bridgerton Season 3 Part 2 3.5. The Featherington sisters alone get a nice 5 because they have been really, really good. And a lot of people said, oh, we're not going to see them again. And I'm like, actually, we are. They're the neighbours. They're not going anywhere. They are like you've got your main family who are all A's. You've got your Lady Danbury, who's first B. You've got Queen Charlotte, your second B character. And then you've got the Featheringtons, and they're your backup family. They are always going to be around. Portia is hugely significant. There are 4 really important dowagers. You've got the Queen herself, you've got Lady Violet, you've got Lady Danbury, and you've got Lady Portia, Lady Featherington. They control the whole of society because they control Penelope and Colin. It's really important. Portia's going absolutely nowhere because it's going to, instead of writing in secret, everybody knows who's going to be writing Whistledown. So basically the Bridgertons own the whole of the ton. So going forward, I see Portia doing some really important interfering and steering and guiding along with Lady Danbury and Lady Violet. There is no other way of doing this. In fact, Lady Danbury knew who Lady Whistledown was all along. She just allowed it because it actually saved her from doing the blinking job herself, because she could just guide it at the events and Lady Whistledown would guide it at all, and there everybody would be contained. Because what you've got to understand about is you've got a load of rich people with a lot of responsibilities that we're not seeing, but they also have access to wealth and frivolities that other people don't. So the whole Lady Whistledown thing is a way of controlling everybody's behaviour. So we can point out if somebody's not treating their wife properly in the printed gossip rag, and it might make them think, actually, mate, you need to do something about it. Be appropriate. And it's worth pointing out that in Regency England there was a pamphlet that listed every single Lady of the Night's abilities. Because 75, if you've seen Harlot, 75% of all women were working in the sex trade in Regency. Brilliant. Check out Harlots. I really enjoyed it. Bridgerton, I've given it 3.5 overall. I don't know what they're going to do or how we're going to get out of some of the mess, but actually if Bridgerton were to end now, I'd be quite happy because it's brought together the storyline that was laid down in season 1. Season 2 elaborated and gave us meat. Season 3 has brought the main supporting characters together to be in the main family and actually created a really powerful clique, as I've described. So that's basically it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I hope that you're staying safe wherever you are. Thank you so much for your support, and don't forget to click the notification bell for my next video. Thank you very much, and bye!